This reading is from Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth. The true self of you, the Christ, spiritual man, is the individualization of God. You are the presence of God at the point where you are. Thus it is true of you as it was of Jesus. Quote, I and the Father are one, end quote. You are an individualized part, but the whole is always in the part. Thus God is within you. However, God is not in you in the same sense that a raisin is in a bun. This is not unity. God is in you as the ocean is in a wave. The wave is nothing more nor less than the ocean expressing as that wave. Sometimes in the study of metaphysics, we are so zealous to erase the idea of a personal God that we talk of God as mind, God as principle, God as substance, but we do not emphasize God as me. For when we refer to God as mind, it is mind somewhere. We may use affirmations in place of the old form of supplicatory prayer, but we may still be reaching out and straining up to God out there. Though God is not a person, yet God is personal. There is nothing impersonal about God mind in me. It is my mind at the point of God mind, but it is my mind. I am sustained by the life principle, but that principle is expressing as me. It is my life. It is me. This is the great unitive idea that Jesus taught. I and the Father are one, not two, but one. The Father in me is me on a higher dimension of living. Jesus' unique concept of God reveals a new concept of prayer. Prayer has usually been directed at God. Thus, the typical prayer begs and pleads, is couched in pious language, is carefully intoned, and uses vain repetitions. Jesus said, your Father knoweth what things you have need of, even before you ask him. In Jesus' concept, prayer is not for God, but for you. You pray not to change something in God's mind, but in your own. Jesus' prayers were unlike anything that had ever been heard before his time. Obviously, they were disturbing to the conservative Pharisees. Jesus seemed to have an inflated ego. He was so confident of the results of his prayers that his efforts seemed almost brazen. Standing before the tomb of his friend who had been dead 3 days, he prayed, Father, I thank thee that thou hearest me, and I knew that thou hearest me always. And then he spoke the word, Lazarus, come forth, with complete confidence. How could he be so sure? Why is the mathematician so sure of his computations? Why does he have such confidence that the principle will support his conclusion? Simply because he knows it is principle. He never thinks of accusing the principle of mathematics for any error that he may make. It never occurs to him to trace the errors of his ledger to the principle of mathematics. To him, it is the most unerring thing in the world, and so prayer was with Jesus.
Good morning, everybody. Our inspirational moment today is from 365 Days of Richer Living from September 26th, Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Baker. Baker must have wrote this. It's too short to be Ernest. It is only as you live affirmatively that you can be happy, knowing that there is but one spirit in which everyone lives, moves, and has their being. You are to feel this spirit not only in your consciousness, but in your affairs. You are united with all. You are one with the eternal light itself. The presence of spirit within you blesses everyone you meet, tends to heal everything you touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone you contact. Therefore, you are a blessing to yourself, to mankind, and to the day in which you live. Say to yourself, today I uncover the perfection within me. In its fullness, I reveal the indwelling kingdom. I look out upon the world of my affairs, knowing that the spirit within me makes my way both immediate and easy. I know there is nothing in me that could obstruct or withhold the divine current of life and love, which is good. My word dissolves every negative thought or impulse that could throw a shadow over my perfection. Good flows through me to all. Good shines through my thoughts and actions. Good harmonizes my mind so that love sings joyously in my heart. I am in complete unity with good. And our affirmation that we'll repeat 3 times. Good harmonizes my mind so that love sings joyously in my heart. Good harmonizes my mind so that love sings joyously in my heart. Good harmonizes my mind so that love sings joyously in my heart.
Gosh, Lainey. In unity, this is our first principle. We believe that there is only one power active in the universe, and it is love. It's God. So what of evil? There's so much talk about evil these days and a personification of evil. And actually, I think every single generation thinks they have the mother lode of evil happening during their time. Every generation thinks we're going to hell in a handbasket. So what of evil? And largely, I think that our thoughts about evil have to do with what our paradigm for life is and what our paradigm for God is. And so if you believe that there is a God, like our reading, that says that it's outside of us and that it is a judgmental God and a God that gives and takes, and that there's this other force, an anthropomorphic entity that is red and has horns and a tail that's pointed, and he runs around tapping on people and making them do things and say, the devil made me do it. And whatever it is that we invoke when we do something that is out of alignment with our true essence, which is God and which is love, then we invoke this force, this devil. In unity, there is no such thing, because there is only God. There's only oneness. There is only peace and harmony. There's only that. And anything construed as evil is an illusion. It comes from what we conjure up ourselves. So there is no evil person, no matter how much evil is perpetrated. There is no evil person. Everybody, the essence of everyone is love. Whether or not you use your power for good or evil comes from that individual. There are some who have no idea what their true essence is. They haven't been taught, they haven't learned, no one told them, they don't remember. Many of us remember it. We go through life, circumstances happen, something resonates with us. That happened to me in my spiritual journey as I continued to seek what was right for me and stepped away from what I was given early in life and just went on this journey of self and kept looking for the God I thought truly existed. At some point, I landed on something and went, oh, it's just love. It's just God. And I knew it because I felt it. And it was there and it was alive, and my brain cleared up and my body, I had goosebumps all over, and in a moment it's just in a quiet moment, it came to me. Not everybody has that experience, or they have it and they don't trust it because they heard something or somebody said something to them, or they just can't quite believe it because all the noise of our lives, all the things we've been through, all the negative messages that either come from the world or people who purport to love us, that overshadows what we feel within us. And many of us go through that every day, don't we? That there's something that you've heard or some story that you have from your past that overshadows your true essence in a moment or in a period of time. And so that's how evil shows up. This is what the Revealing Word, which is one of our dictionaries in Unity, along with the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. So this is what it says, is the metaphysical meaning of evil. That which is not of God, unreality, error, thought, a product of the fallen human consciousness, negation. Evil is a parasite. It has no permanent life of itself. Its whole existence depends on the life it borrows from its parent, so from consciousness. And when its connection with the parent is severed, nothing remains. In divine mind, there is no recognition of evil conditions. Such conditions have no basis of reality. They are conjurations of a false consciousness, an illusion. I put that word in there. Apparent evil is a result of ignorance, and when truth, with a capital T, is presented, the error disappears. There is but one presence and one power, God omnipotent, but man has the privilege and freedom of using this power as he will. When he misuses it, he brings about inharmonious conditions. These are called evil. Evil appears in the world because man is not in spiritual understanding. He has not learned that all is mind, mind with a capital M. Neither has he conformed to the law of mind, with the result that inharmony appears in his body and affairs. He can do away with evil by learning rightly to use the one power. If there were a power of evil, it could not be changed. Evil overcoming. Evil must be overcome with good. We must dwell in the good so wholly that all the substance of our thoughts and our being is given over to the promotion of the good. This is a mental process in which all negation, evil in parentheses, is denied and creative. Fearless affirmation of God's perfect good is steadfastly adhered to. Evil is a construct. So we have our 12 powers: faith, imagination, right judgment and wisdom, life, love, order, power, renunciation or release, strength, understanding, will, and zeal. And when we use those powers, not at their highest and best, but on the other end of the spectrum, one of my favorite phrases is a bastardization of the original. So we're on this other end of the spectrum. That's when evil happens. So we're not in unconditional love, we are in conditional love. When I'm trying to manipulate you, that's a bastardization of unconditional love. When I'm trying to use somebody and I'm cloaking it with love, that's evil. I'm using a power on the opposite end of the spectrum, not at its highest and best, at its worst, if you want to call it that. So will, the power that gives us agency, that gives us dominion, when we are being willful and I'm trying to make you do something I want you to do for some reason that is not for anyone's highest and best, I am out of alignment and I'm now perpetrating evil. But I'm not evil. We don't believe that any human being is evil. We perpetrate evil things. We have freedom of thought and movement. Freedom of thought and movement. And so we are actually those anthropomorphic beings with the horns and the tails perpetrating stuff. There's nothing sitting on your left shoulder whispering in your ear, I want you to betray that friend of yours. That's all happening in here. For some reason, maybe it's something in your environment, maybe something happened, maybe some kind of trauma, maybe you were hurt. I don't know. There could be something chemically wrong. There could be some kind of mental issue that's at work. And it's a hard concept because we just think that there's always talk of evil. There's always talk of the devil, of a force that is evil, that is nefarious. I always think of like that evil laugh. Ooh, ah. That's what we hear in the world all the time, don't we? And so it took me a while through my spiritual journey and an experience of God to know and hold that principle that there is only one power. So don't kick yourself if you're not there. It takes work. It takes time. It takes an experience. It takes lots of prayer and meditation. It takes asking the question, what's happening here? So when you encounter evil, be in the moment and ask Spirit, what is happening here? Ask, and you shall receive. And wait for the answer. And be with the question until you get an answer. It's hard to parcel out this stuff. It's hard to look at the world and all the stuff that's going on. It's hard to look at some people and all the stuff they do and still say there is no evil. There's only one power and one presence active in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. There's a part of me that needs to hold that. And I'm good with that. Because I want to live, I want to have a consciousness of goodness and love all the time. All the time. And to say that's a challenge in some moments doesn't even come close. It doesn't come close. But if you stay there and if you continue to invoke love, if you continue to affirm love, if you continue to be open to love, you'll find it. Because it's there. It's always there. But it takes looking not with our human eyes, not listening with our human ears, but what so many call the third eye, with God mind, listening with God ears, feeling with unconditional love. How can I find unconditional love here in this situation, with that person, with that thing, with that statement was made, with that thing that's occurring in the world? How do I find love here? How could love be here in this circumstance? It's a huge challenge. Huge challenge. And I would say for me, it took letting go of everything I thought about the world and holding on to that principle that there's only one presence and one power, which is God. And when I thought I was encountering evil, when I judged something as evil, when I judge something as ugly and wrong, and especially someone like that, I would sit with that principle and I would say it over and over again. And I would let myself be curious and open. And at some point, it revealed itself. But the first challenge is to be open, that love, that God is present here and in this stuff, in that person. And sometimes we don't want to let go of that. Because sometimes we just think we are right. And we just want to continue to think that we are right. And as long as we can judge something as evil and bad, we get to think that we are good. That we are better. That we are higher and they are lower. Evil is a judgment. And there are many people that flies in the face of everything they believe. And it flew in the face of everything I believed at one point. Being open is everything. Being open to the presence of God in everything is necessary for that to happen. Can I see somebody who's perpetrated something? I studied criminal justice in college. And I studied prison community. And I watch a lot of stuff about prison life, prison consciousness. I'm attracted to stuff like that. And one of the reasons I think I'm attracted to it is because I want to find goodness everywhere. And so a lot of times I tested myself and I would watch shows. I just watched one recently about a group of people in Poland who were in EMTs, who were driving ambulances, started delaying care for people so that they would die, and they would get paid by funeral parlors for bringing bodies. There were doctors, EMTs, there were funeral parlor owners, or people who purposely opened funeral parlors so that they could perpetrate this crime. And it went on for years until they found out what was going on. Millions of dollars were made by people in this conspiracy. And I watched that and I thought, oh man, really? All of them, all those people are the essence of love? Really? Can I sit with that? Can I sit with that? There's about 3 or 4 episodes of the show. I think I'm on episode 3. I'm still sitting with it. I'm still sitting with it. Because that is my paradigm. But these things like this test what we believe. Do I truly believe that? Do I truly believe that there is only one power and one presence? That means I need to go there. That means I need to be able to see those people, see all of that, and be able to say that there is only one power and one presence, and believe it in my bones. Many of those people who were in that conspiracy were interviewed. Not all of them were brought to justice, by the way. Some of them were interviewed. And I had to look at them. Try to find some light there. Try to see them as light. And at some point, I just let it go, and I chose to see the light in them. And it might have been a little pinpoint of light. But yeah, sometimes we lose our way. Sometimes we really lose our way. So what do you believe about the world? And are you willing to go there? That is our first principle. Everything else stems from that first principle. Because if I'm not willing to see everybody else as love and light, how can I see myself as love and light? If I'm not willing to give you grace, how can I give myself grace? I've done some stuff I'm not proud of. We all have done things we're not proud of. How can you give yourself grace if you're not willing to give everyone else grace? How? It's a hard concept. Unity, again, calls evil. It's your consciousness. That's where you are. You've gone far afield of the highest and best of all of those 12, each of those 12 powers. And probably every day. So where you are always the essence of faith. But you're on a continuum. Where are you on the continuum of faith every single day? You always have faith, but what does it look like? If highest and best is over here, are you here today in your faith? Or are you down here? Doubting everything, don't know who you are. Need evidence for every single thing that you believe. You need something in the world to tell you. Or can you believe? Can you be in faith for whatever it is that you're trying to bring into the world, to bring into your experience? So I did that with my diagnosis, because here it was. I was over here, doctor's telling me this is going on with your body. One doctor's telling me, oh, you're going to go through this you're going to have 3 things of kind of, you'll have the disease and you're going to remission. You'll do that 3 times and then you'll be dead. Then it's over. That's what it's going to look like, sweetie. I put in the sweetie part. She didn't say the sweetie part. But she did go there with the other stuff. And she said it might take about 10, 12 years. So over here, after she got done with me, I was over here in the faith thing about this diagnosis. And slowly I had to bring myself over here. And now I'm here. And I can remember those words of hers and say, oh, hell no. I'm not doing that 3-cycle thing. Not going there, because I believe that there's only one power and one presence active in my life and in my affairs. God the good, the omnipotent. But I was over here first, and I pushed that thing over here. And some days it slid back. And then I pushed it back. And sometimes it still goes a little bit there, and fear kicks it in for a little bit, and then I push it back. And I'll say, no, this is my experience, this is my reality, that there is only God, there is only vibrant health, and that's what I'm going with. So it's work. It's work. You just don't pop in there. Well, you can. That's always possible. You can always pop in here at highest and best. Always, always, always. You can go there. But generally, in the human experience, we got to push the needle from, oh, heck, we're all going to hell in a handbasket, to over here. Prayer meditation. That's why we say prayer meditation. You got to be in God's space. You got to acknowledge you're always in God's space. Again, there's that continuum. You're always in God's space. Whether or not you believe it, you're over here at the one end of the spectrum, and you push it over here. Yes, I always believe I'm in God's space. You just have to remember, kick back in. Oh, that's what my experience is. And you stay here. or here, whichever way you want that ruler to be. It's all in consciousness, all in consciousness. Evil is a consciousness. But what we know about life is that everything has an energy. Love is the highest vibration and will always, always, always take over what we call evil. Always will outmatch it. Always will conquer it. So we've all heard 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels but do not have love, I'm only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship, that I may boast but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always persevere. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears, meaning we will only know oneness. When I was a child, I talked like a child. When I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, but I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. Even as I am fully known as love. And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Love never fails. So if there's evil in the world, our work as metaphysicians, as quantum beings, is to hold a consciousness of love. The oy vey of unity is everything is on our shoulders. Everything. I was reading, as I was thinking about all this, I was reading something about what Neil Donald Walsh in Conversations with God said about Hitler. And one of the things he said was, Hitler could not have happened if no one else took on his ideology. He would have been a lone voice in the wind and mattered not to anything. But millions of individuals, countries, religions either went on board with him, got on board, or said nothing. And that's why that ideology was allowed to grow. He could not have done it by himself. Could not have done it by himself. So if everybody wants to think, oh, that happened because of them, it happened because of a mass consciousness. Our consciousness matters. Our consciousness matters. Our consciousness matters. You think you're just a little thing in the world? You are not. Intention matters. And as we intend our good, our consciousness of good to unite with everyone else's consciousness of good, it grows exponentially. and evil is outmatched. So whenever you think there's evil in the world, start to work on your consciousness of love and goodness. It's all on us, folks. It's all on us. But we have the power, we have the dominion. So it's the good news and the bad news. Oy vey, it's all on us. It's our job. We're the hands and feet of God, if that's the way you want to put it. Be God in the world. Be your light. Every single time you hear something that's been perpetrated or something disturbs you, go right to love. I think it's Michael Beckwith that said, all the bad news is a prayer request. Hear something, go into prayer, and affirm love, affirm goodness, affirm that there's only one power and one presence active in life and in the universe, God the good. Affirm that every time you hear something that disturbs you. Every time you meet somebody who disturbs you, affirm goodness. Affirm goodness. Let's take this in a meditation. There is only one power and one presence active in your life and in the universe. God the good. Love. Unconditional love. There's no devil. Evil is a creation of consciousness. And consciousness can shift. So here in this moment, know that you are goodness. Know that you are love. Know that you can grow in consciousness. As you are willing. So the question this morning is, are you willing? Are you willing to be love and harmony? All love all the time. All love all the time. Are you willing? When others start to complain about the world, complain about certain people, certain things, certain ideologies, do you want to join the pity party, or are you willing to be love and hold love? Are you willing to shift the consciousness of those that you are with and be open to love? Unconditional love. The kind of love that heals all things, bears all things, forgives all things, and sees only light. Are you willing? Are you willing? Are you willing to be love? Are you willing to buck the system and be love? Are you willing to look at those that are hard to stomach and see love? Are you willing to open your eyes, God mine, the eyes of God that are your eyes, your true eyes, and see love, to find love in all situations, in all people, every person, past and present. Are you willing to be the hands and feet of God in the world and invoke your oneness with God? Love only. Love only. In the midst of disease, can you see vibrant health? Where others see separation, do you see harmony and unity? Where others see lack, can you invoke goodness, abundance, and know that we live in an opulent universe? Where others see chaos, can you hold peace in your heart and in your consciousness? You are faith. You are imagination. You are wisdom. You are life and love. You are order. You are power. You are renunciation and release. You are strength. You are understanding. You are will, and you are zeal. You are love. You are light. Love and light. So let's take a breath in. Exhale. And if you want, say in your heart of hearts, I'm willing and open to be only love. I'm willing and open to be only love. I'm willing and open to see only love. I'm willing and open to express only love. There is only one power and one presence active in our lives and in the universe, God, the good. One power, one presence, God, the good, love. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.